Bold and beautiful 2-week spoilers January 19th to 30th. Bill's victory lap sends Steffy into panic mode. Bold and the beautiful 2-week spoilers for January 19th to 30th, 2026 reveal Bill Spencer, Don Diamant, gloating, and Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood freaking. Bold and beautiful 2-week spoilers, Will worried about his job. On Monday, January 19th, over at Forrester Creations, Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., has a talk in the CEO office with Will Spencer, Crew Morrow. Will is looking nervous and is a little worried about losing his job because of his mom, Katie Logan, Heather Tom, starting a rival fashion house. Ridge may wonder if Will, as Bill Spencer's Don Diamant's son, is going to be a spy. It seems it is less about Katie and more about Will being his father's son. Will, Spencer, and Ridge Forrester face off at Forrester Creations on B&B. Meanwhile, picking up from Friday over at Logan, we have Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, with Katie as she repeats the line about hiring a lead designer. That's when Eric Forrester, John McCook, opens the door and unwittingly enters the conversation. It looks like he and Katie don't tell Brooke that he is the new designer. Then Brooke leaves and goes back over to Forrester. Also on Monday, Donna Logan, Jennifer Garais, confronts Katie and Eric. She wants them to tell Brooke the truth, that Eric is the new lead designer at Logan. Donna is very worried about the fallout from the two of them, keeping it a secret. However, Eric is telling his wife, Donna, and his new boss, Katie, that Ridge and Brooke are going to learn the hard way to respect their elders. He is feeling super salty. Plus, R.J. Forrester, Brian Nicoliti, finds out that Will is dating Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. We already saw R.J. crushing on Electra when he was unfastening the necklace and acting very flirty. It is doubtful that Electra dating Will is going to slow R.J. down very much, because 2026 spoilers say that Will and R.J. are rivals right out the gate. This is very complicated because not only is Electra in the mix, but Melissa Dillon, Sydney Bullock, is about to be working at Forrester Creations. She's crashing above Will Spencer's garage. She's eyeballing him and being sketchy, and Electra doesn't like that. Will, Spencer, and R.J. Forrester rivalry ignites with new recasts on Bold and the Beautiful. On Tuesday, January 20th, we've got Will and R.J. coming face to face for the first time in several years. Part of that is because they've both been recast. They did a Sora's on Will Spencer. Now we've got a new R.J. Forrester. R.J. has been gone for a while, supposedly traveling. They disappeared him and never told us why, and now they're cleaning it up in hindsight. It looks like Will and R.J. are going to be at odds right away, not only because of Electra, whom they're both into, but also because of Logan. R.J. may do some smug, smack-talking like his father, Ridge, and call out Katie Logan's actions. He might say that she's a traitor to Forrester, which could get volatile pretty fast. Steffy Forrester confronts Hope Logan over Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes' secret romance on B&B. Then, on Wednesday, January 21st, back over at Forrester Creations, we've got Steffy talking to Hope Logan, Annika Noel. She's really worked up. Steffy is telling Hope that something is brewing and it has to end before it's too late. Obviously, this is about Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. This week, Deacon gets a visit at his apartment from Hope, who is looking a little stressed out. She may want the tea on his feelings for Taylor and exactly how far this has gotten between them. While it hasn't gotten terribly far yet, Deacon would like it to go further, and so would Taylor. We also have Steffy begging Taylor to dump Deacon as her patient. Steffy is terrified that Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, is going to target Taylor, but others want Deacon away from Sheila and may actually be shipping him with Taylor. On Wednesday, Deacon and Taylor can't fight their feelings and may stop trying. We may finally get the kiss that they've been teasing for weeks now. Dylan's sketchy behavior at the beach house alarms Electra Forrester on Bold and the Beautiful. On Thursday, January 22nd, at the beach house, we have Dylan telling Will she wants to repay him for letting her stay there however she can. It seems very inappropriate, like she's offering something in lieu of rent. Electra tells Will that she's concerned about Dylan. She thinks Will has another stalker, and she's likely not wrong. Everybody is scrambling on Thursday to hide the Taylor and Deacon secret from Sheila, which is going to become increasingly important very soon. Sheila Carter corners Finn as tension rises at Il Giardino. Friday, January 23rd, wraps up the week with Dylan promising Electra that she's not pushing boundaries or crossing lines. However, Dylan seems like a snake who is targeting Will and channeling Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. She's Luna 2.0. We also have Finn Tanner Novlin, trying to avoid Sheila at Il Giardino, but he has no luck. She spots him and forces him to talk to her. Sheila is gushing to Finn about how Taylor saved her marriage. Because Finn knows that Deacon and Taylor are crushing on each other, thanks to Steffy Forrester's warning, Finn just wants to stay away from Sheila. Finn will likely report back to Steffy about this interaction, especially if Sheila mentions any kind of trouble in paradise with Deacon. Also, this week, Sheila tries to get cozy with Deacon, but she may not get the response that she expects. February sweeps bring Eric Forrester's fashion war to Logan on Bold and the Beautiful. The following week, January 26th through the 30th, marks the beginning of February sweeps. This kicks off on Thursday, January 29th, and runs through February 25th. Eric may be surprising Katie in a big way with sketches for a whole couture line. It is unlikely that Eric would start from scratch when he already has a whole collection done that he can hand over to Katie to immediately push into production. Deke Sharp Harrison Cohn should be on board soon at Logan. He'll be excited to work for Katie, and even more excited to work under Eric. Zend may also mention to Katie that he wishes Hope would leave Forrester Creations. Dylan's creeper vibe is going to amplify this week, and Electra is on increasingly higher alert. The problem is that Will Spencer's sympathy may blind him. He may feel so bad about her homelessness that he's not really seeing what Electra is seeing on Bold and the Beautiful. Steffy Forrester's fear of Sheila Carter impacts the Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes drama on B&B. We could also see Bill and Katie encouraging Will to join Logan, but he wants to work with Electra. With RJ at Forrester Creations having his eye on Electra, there's no way that Will wants to risk her working all day with a guy who is chasing her. Steffy gets more concerned about Taylor and Deacon that week. She is absolutely terrified of losing her mom to Sheila's violence again, especially since Sheila shot Taylor years before. While the family thought she was dead and she was actually with Prince Omar, the trauma remains. Hope agrees that Sheila is a concern, but she wants Deacon to get his happily ever after with a better woman like Taylor. As Deacon and Taylor's heat continues to grow, we'll see how long it is until they get steamy. Meanwhile, Bill is plotting to embarrass Ridge with Logan's success and is gleeful about Eric Forrester's hire. Bold and the Beautiful. A week of heartbreak and high stakes. The sun may be shining over the Forrester mansion, but a storm is brewing in the hearts of Los Angeles's most elite. This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, the drama reaches a fever pitch as old rivalries ignite, forbidden loves blossom, and a victory lap threatens to shatter the fragile peace of the Forrester family. For fans who have followed the twists and turns of the Spencer and Forrester dynasties, the current storyline is delivering some of the most emotional and high-stakes moments in recent history. At the center of it all is a power move that has sent Steffy Forrester into a complete panic, while Bill Spencer prepares to celebrate a win that could change the landscape of the fashion world forever. Bill Spencer's victory lap, a power move that changes everything. Bill Spencer has never been one to shy away from a bold move, and his latest maneuver is a masterclass in corporate and personal strategy. As the head of Spencer Publications, Bill has always had his sights set on more than just media dominance. This week, his victory lap isn't just about a successful business deal. It's about the successful launch of Katie Logan's new fashion house, Logan. The tension surrounding the name Logan has been simmering for weeks. While Brooke Logan has expressed her deep disapproval of Katie using their family name for a rival company, Katie has stood her ground, fueled by a desire for independence and a chance to prove herself outside the shadow of Forrester Creations. Bill, ever the supportive and perhaps slightly manipulative partner, has been right by Katie's side. His victory lap is a public declaration of the new company's potential. But the real sad news for the Forresters isn't just a new competitor. It's the revelation of who is leading the creative vision for Logan. This isn't just about business for Bill, it's about shifting the power balance in Los Angeles. Insider source: Steffy Forrester in panic mode, the ultimate betrayal? For Steffy Forrester, the news of a new fashion house was already a headache. But the realization that Eric Forrester, the patriarch and legendary founder of her family's company, has jumped ship to join the Logan team has sent her into a tailspin. Steffy is no stranger to corporate warfare, but this feels personal. To her, Eric's move is the ultimate betrayal. She is terrified that this could be the beginning of the end for Forrester Creations' dominance. Her panic isn't just about the bottom line, it's about the legacy her family has worked so hard to build. In a series of tense scenes, we see Steffy's composure crumble. She is desperate to find a way to bring her grandfather back, but Eric's resolve seems unshakable. He isn't acting out of spite toward Ridge or Steffy. He's acting out of a need for a fresh start and a desire to be valued for his current vision, not just his past achievements. A new rivalry ignites, Will versus RJ. While the adults are locked in a battle for industry supremacy, a new rivalry is brewing among the next generation. This week marked the highly anticipated face-to-face meeting between Will Spencer and RJ Forrester, once stepbrothers during the various iterations of the Bill Ridge love triangle. These two young men are now finding themselves on opposite sides of a very different fence. The tension between them is palpable, and it's not just about their father's history. The Electra factor. The catalyst for this new conflict is Electra Forrester. Will and Electra have been building a life and a career together at Forrester Creations, but RJ's return has thrown a wrench into their plans. The necklace incident, a simple, charged moment where RJ helped Electra with a necklace, has sparked a fire that may be hard to put out. Professional jealousy. Will is protective of his place at Forrester and his relationship with Electra. RJ's natural charm and deep family ties make him a formidable threat in every sense. The echoes of the classic Rick versus CJ rivalry are unmistakable. As these two ex-stepbrothers square off, the office at Forrester Creations has become a battlefield. Heartbreak and secrets. Taylor, Deacon, and Sheila. As if the fashion drama wasn't enough, the personal lives of our favorite characters are equally tumultuous. Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp are finding it increasingly difficult to deny the spark between them. Despite Steffi's frantic warnings and her desperate pleas for Taylor to stop treating Deacon as a patient, the two seem drawn together by an irresistible force. But there is a shadow looming over their burgeoning romance. Sheila Carter. Sheila remains in the dark about her husband's growing connection with Taylor. But on The Bold and the Beautiful, secrets never stay buried for long. The fear that Sheila will snap when she discovers the truth is a constant source of anxiety for Steffy and Finn. Character currents struggle Steffy Forrester dealing with Eric's departure and the threat of the Logan fashion house. Bill Spencer celebrating the launch of Logan and supporting Katie's independence, Will Spencer facing off against RJ for his job and his girlfriend, Electra. Taylor Hayes balancing her professional ethics with her growing feelings for Deacon. Sheila Carter unaware of the betrayal brewing right under her nose. What's next for the families of Los Angeles? As we look ahead to the rest of the week, the questions are many. Can Steffy find a way to stabilize Forrester Creations? Or will Bill's victory lap lead to a permanent shift in power? Will RJ and Will's rivalry tear the office apart? Or can they find a way to coexist? And perhaps most importantly, what will happen when Sheila finally learns the truth about Deacon and Taylor? The sad news of today is just the beginning. The heartbreak, the panic, and the power plays are setting the stage for a year that promises to be one of the most explosive in the history of The Bold and the Beautiful. The echoes of the classic Rick versus CJ rivalry are unmistakable. As these two ex-stepbrothers square off, the office at Forrester Creations has become a battlefield. Heartbreak and secrets, Taylor, Deacon, and Sheila. As if the fashion drama wasn't enough, the personal lives of our favorite characters are equally tumultuous. Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp are finding it increasingly difficult to deny the spark between them. Despite Steffy's frantic warnings and her desperate pleas for Taylor to stop treating Deacon as a patient, the two seem drawn together by an irresistible force. But there is a shadow looming over their burgeoning romance. Sheila Carter. Sheila remains in the dark about her husband's growing connection with Taylor, but on The Bold and the Beautiful, secrets never stay buried for long. The fear that Sheila will snap when she discovers the truth is a constant source of anxiety for Steffy and Finn. Character current struggles Steffy Forrester dealing with Eric's departure and the threat of the Logan fashion house. Bill Spencer celebrating the launch of Logan and supporting Katie's independence. Will Spencer facing off against RJ for his job and his girlfriend, Electra, Taylor Hayes balancing her professional ethics with her growing feelings for Deacon. Sheila Carter unaware of the betrayal brewing right under her nose to what's next for the families of Los Angeles? As we look ahead to the rest of the week, the questions are many. Can Steffy find a way to stabilize Forrester Creations? Or will Bill's victory lap lead to a permanent shift in power? Will RJ and Will's rivalry and the beautiful news is heartbreakingly intense, as Bill Spencer's latest power play doesn't just shake the board, it sends shockwaves straight through Steffy Forrester's world. What should have been a moment of triumph for Dollar Bill quickly curdles into something darker, more unsettling and painfully personal. Bill is taking a victory lap, and every step he takes feels like a warning siren blaring in Steffy's ears. This isn't celebration. This is domination. And Steffy knows exactly what that means. For weeks, Bill has been unusually quiet. Too quiet for a man who thrives on confrontation and chaos. But Bold and the Beautiful fans know better than to mistake Bill Spencer's silence for surrender. He doesn't retreat, he recalibrates. And now, with his head held high and that familiar, unnerving confidence back in his stride, Bill is making it crystal clear. He won. The question that leaves Steffy reeling is, what exactly did he win? And at what cost to her family? Bill's smile says everything and nothing. It starts with the look on Bill's face. That smug, satisfied smile that has haunted Forrester hallways before. When Bill walks into the room, he doesn't boast or shout. He doesn't need to. His calm is more terrifying than any outburst. He speaks softly, almost kindly, as if he's doing everyone a favor by not rubbing their faces in it. But the message is unmistakable. He's in control again. Steffy feels it instantly. The air changes. Her instincts, honed by years of battling powerful men who underestimate her, start screaming. Bill's victory lap isn't about business alone. This is personal. It always has been. Every glance Bill casts toward her feels loaded with implication. Every cryptic remark feels like a chess move she didn't see coming. And the worst part? Steffy realizes she may already be several moves behind. A past that refuses to stay buried. For Steffy, panic doesn't come easily. She's faced Sheila Carter, survived betrayals, gunshots, and emotional devastation. She's rebuilt her life more times than she can count. But Bill's presence taps into something deeper, unfinished business and unresolved fear. Bill knows Steffy's weak points. He knows her loyalty to her family, her fierce protectiveness over Finn, and her terror of history repeating itself. Their past is complicated, messy, and filled with moments Steffy would rather forget. And Bill, he never forgets anything that gives him leverage. This victory lap feels like Bill reminding her of that history, of the times he held the upper hand, of the moments when Steffy had to react instead of lead. And as much as she hates to admit it, the memory alone is enough to make her heart race. Finn senses the storm, but can't stop it. Finn immediately notices Steffy's unease. He asks the right questions, offers support, promises protection. But there's a painful truth Steffy can't bring herself to say out loud. This isn't a threat Finn can simply shield her from. Bill Spencer operates in shadows and boardrooms, not back alleys. His weapons are contracts, secrets, and timing. And Steffy knows that once Bill sets his sights on something, or someone, he doesn't back off until he gets what he wants. Finn wants to confront Bill, to draw a line in the sand. Steffy stops him. The last thing she wants is to provoke Bill further. Her restraint only deepens her fear, because it means she's already calculating damage control instead of victory. That alone tells her how serious this situation is. A win that feels like a threat. What makes Bill's victory lap so unsettling is its ambiguity. He hasn't announced a takeover. He hasn't dropped a bombshell yet. But that's exactly what terrifies Steffy. Bill is savoring this moment, letting anticipation do the damage before the truth even comes out. Is it a business move that will cripple Forrester Creations? Is it leverage involving Finn or Liam? Is it something tied to Sheila, whose shadow never truly disappears? Steffy runs through every possibility, and none of them end well. The more Bill smiles, the more Steffy spirals. She knows that when Bill enjoys the moment this much, it's because the fallout will be spectacular and painful. Ridge and Brooke are caught off guard. Ridge senses tension, but underestimates its scale. Brooke tries to stay optimistic, reminding everyone that Bill has been contained before. Steffy knows better. Bill doesn't repeat plays, he evolves them. When Steffy tries to warn them, her words come out clipped, urgent, almost desperate. This isn't paranoia, it's survival instinct. She's seen Bill at his most ruthless, and this version, controlled, victorious, eerily calm, is the most dangerous of all. For the first time in a long while, Steffy feels truly alone in her fear. The emotional cost of always being strong. What makes today's bold and the beautiful news especially sad is watching Steffy crack under the weight of it all. She's always the strong one, the leader, the protector. But Bill's victory lap forces her into a position she hates, reactive, uncertain, afraid. There's a moment when Steffy is alone and the mask slips. Her hands tremble. Her thoughts race. She wonders if every choice she's made has led to this moment. If protecting her family has somehow put them in greater danger. That vulnerability is heartbreaking. Steffy isn't weak, but she's human. And Bill Spencer has a way of exploiting the humanity like no one else. Bill's final look and Steffy's realization. The most chilling moment comes when Bill locks eyes with Steffy before leaving. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't threaten. He simply says, "This is just the beginning." It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's devastating. Steffy realizes then that Bill's victory lap isn't about closure. It's about momentum. Whatever he's set in motion can't be stopped easily. And worse, it may already be hurting the people she loves. What happens next? As today's very sad bold and the beautiful news settles in, one thing is painfully clear. Steffy is entering survival mode. She will fight. She always does. But this time, the battle lines are blurred, the enemy is smiling, and the stakes feel terrifyingly high. Bill Spencer may be celebrating, but Steffy Forrester knows better than anyone. His victories always come with collateral damage. And unless she finds a way to outmaneuver him fast, that damage could shatter everything she's worked so hard to protect. One victory lap, one smile, one quiet threat, in a week that has already been filled with explosive secrets and corporate warfare. The Bold and the Beautiful is delivering a today very sad news level of heartbreak for fans of the Spencer family. The latest spoilers for January 2026 have fans reeling as will Spencer, Crew Morrow, finds himself caught in a devastating professional and personal crossfire that could change his life forever. As the Forrester and Logan families draw battle lines, Will is facing a nightmare scenario, the very real possibility of losing his dream job at Forrester Creations because of a war he didn't start. The corporate war, Will caught in the middle. The tension in Los Angeles has reached a fever pitch following Katie Logan's Heather Tom shocking decision to launch her own rival fashion house. While Katie is motivated by a desire to step out of Brooke's shadow, her bold move has placed her son, Will, in an impossible position. Currently interning at Forrester Creations, Will has finally found a place where he feels he can build a legacy separate from the dollar bill. Today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered a deeply emotional and unsettling storyline that left fans heartbroken and anxious. At the center of it all is Will Spencer, a young man who has spent most of his life trying to step out of the shadows of his powerful family name. Now, just as he's beginning to believe he has a future of his own, everything he's worked for appears to be slipping through his fingers. This is not just about a job. This is about identity, self-worth, loyalty, and the crushing fear of failure. Will Spencer's quiet fear becomes impossible to ignore. For weeks, viewers have noticed the subtle signs. Will growing quieter at work, avoiding eye contact during meetings, hesitating before speaking. Today, those warning signs finally turned into something far more serious. Will is worried about losing his job, and for the first time, he's not sure his last name can protect him. In a heartbreaking scene, Will sat alone in his office, staring at his computer screen long after everyone else had gone home. The Forrester building, usually buzzing with ambition and confidence, felt cold and unforgiving. His expression said it all: fear, uncertainty, and a creeping sense that he may not belong. This isn't the reckless, carefree Will fans once knew. This is a young man realizing that the safety net he thought he had might never have existed at all. Living under the Spencer name, a blessing or a curse. Being a Spencer has always been complicated. On one hand, the name opens doors. On the other, it sets impossibly high expectations. Will has spent his entire career trying to prove that he's more than just Bill Spencer's son. Today's episode made it painfully clear just how heavy that burden has become. Whispers have started circulating at work. Some colleagues believe Will was handed opportunities he didn't earn. Others think he's being kept around out of obligation rather than merit. And then there are those who quietly wonder if it's finally time for Will to be pushed aside. The most devastating part? Will has begun to believe those rumors himself. A performance review that felt like a warning shot. One of the most emotional moments came when Will was called in for what he assumed would be a routine performance review. Instead, the conversation took a chilling turn. His supervisor's words were polite, measured, but unmistakably cold. Phrases like restructuring, changing priorities, and evaluating long-term fit hung in the air like a storm cloud. No direct threat was made, yet the implication was crystal clear. Will's position is no longer secure. As he left the office, Will's hands visibly trembled. For the first time, the possibility of being let go felt real and terrifying. Confidence shattered by recent mistakes. Adding to Will's anxiety are a series of recent missteps. While none of them were catastrophic, together they've created a damaging narrative. A delayed report, a client meeting that didn't go as planned, a decision that cost time and money. In the ruthless world of fashion and media empires, small mistakes can quickly become unforgivable, especially for someone already under scrutiny. Will knows this, and it's eating him alive. Instead of feeling motivated to fight harder, he's trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. Every email feels like potential bad news. Every meeting feels like a test he's destined to fail. Family ties complicate everything. Of course, nothing is ever simple in the Spencer family. Will considered turning to Bill for help, but stopped himself. The last thing he wants is to be accused of using his father's power to save his job. Yet staying silent may cost him everything. Meanwhile, other family members are starting to sense that something is wrong. There are concerned looks, unanswered calls, and tense conversations that trail off mid-sentence. The emotional distance between Will and those closest to him is growing, fueled by shame and fear. Will doesn't want sympathy. He wants respect. And right now he feels he has neither. a painful moment of truth. Perhaps the saddest scene of the day came when Will finally admitted, if only to himself, that he might not be good enough. Standing in front of a mirror, tie loosened, eyes tired, he whispered words no one should ever have to say. Maybe they're right. It was a raw, devastating moment that resonated deeply with viewers. Because Will's struggle isn't just about employment, it's about self-belief. When a person starts to doubt their own worth, the damage can be far-reaching and lasting. Office politics and a target on Will's back. Behind the scenes, things may be even worse than Will realizes. Power shifts within the company have created new alliances and rivalries, and some insiders see Will as expendable. To them, he represents the past, an easy name to cut when numbers need trimming or leadership wants to send a message. And then there are those who may actively want him gone. Whether motivated by jealousy, ambition, or old grudges, the atmosphere around Will has grown increasingly hostile. Friendly smiles feel forced. Conversations stop when he enters the room. Trust is evaporating fast. Is this the beginning of the end? The question on every fan's mind tonight is chilling. Is Will Spencer about to lose his job? The signs are ominous. The tension is unmistakable. And the emotional weight of today's episode suggests that something life-changing is coming. If Will is fired, it won't just be a professional setback. It could send him spiraling emotionally. Losing his job would mean losing the one thing that made him feel independent, capable, and worthy of respect outside his family legacy. And if he stays, the fight to prove himself may be even more brutal. Fans react with heartbreak and concern. Viewers took to social media immediately, expressing heartbreak and frustration over Will's storyline. Many praised the show for portraying the quiet, realistic pain of workplace anxiety and imposter syndrome. Comments poured in describing how relatable Will's fear feels in today's world, where job security is fragile and self-worth often feels tied to professional success. This storyline isn't loud or explosive. It's subtle, emotional, and deeply human. And that's exactly why it hurts so much. What comes next for Will Spencer? As the bold and the beautiful moves forward, Will's future remains uncertain. Will he finally speak up and fight for his position? Will family intervention help or make things worse? Or is this the painful beginning of a completely new chapter in his life? One thing is certain. Today's episode marked a turning point. Will Spencer is standing on the edge, looking into an unknown future filled with risk, fear, and the possibility of profound loss. Whether he rises stronger or falls apart will depend on the choices he makes next, and on who stands by him when everything is on the line. For now, fans are left with heavy hearts, hoping that this young man who has already faced so much won't lose the one thing he was trying so hard to build.